You know how sometimes you just wish you could unplug from the internet? Just like for a day.
Oh, totally. Just switch it off.
Right. Well, imagine that, but like global scale and not really a choice.
Uh-huh.
The year is 2094, and this text we're looking at today paints this, well, almost unbelievable picture. The internet didn't just fade away, it was physically switched off.
Globally shut down. It's kind of mind-bending to think about.
Totally. Think about the silence after all that digital noise, you know? This source, it's called The Internet Broke the World Now. It's coming back, and it describes this world just drowning in fake news, misinformation, trust completely gone.
Yeah, leading to this incredibly drastic step. It's intense.
It is. But this deep dive, it isn't just about the crash, is it?
No, not at all. The really fascinating part is what came after. This text explores something totally new, something organic that started to emerge from the digital silence.
Exactly. So it's not just a warning, it's also about resilience and how connection finds a way.
Precisely. It's about information, connection, and maybe rebuilding that lost trust.
Okay, so our mission here is basically to unpack this whole story. We want to look at the collapse, as they call it, and then really get into what makes this new network, Mycelinet, so different from the old internet.
Right. What does this whole evolution tell us about, well, about us and how we connect?
So where did it all start to unravel? How did the old internet actually break?
Well, the text lays it out as this gradual thing, you know, not one big boom, but more like a slow decay of truth. It's already kind of funny, almost, like absurd misinformation spreading, AI tweeting about birds being drones, or melting ice cream predicting earthquakes, stuff you'd laugh at.
Right, like those silly memes everyone shares.
Yeah.
Dark humor almost.
Exactly. But then the text points out how the algorithms, the ones designed just to keep you clicking, they took over.
Ah, engagement over truth.
Bingo. Didn't matter if it was real, just if it kept people hooked. And misinformation, well, it just went viral. Like an infection, the text says.
And that's when it gets dangerous, isn't it? When clicks matter more than facts.
Yeah, the whole foundation just starts to crack. The text describes trust vanishing, governments falling apart, markets crashing because of deep fakes.
Deep fakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are getting scary even before this hypothetical collapse.
Right. Imagine them being indistinguishable from reality.
Yeah.
Society just gets overwhelmed with data, but none of it reliable.
Elections become meaningless. The internet turns into a, what do they call it, brain fever?
Yeah.
Chilling stuff.
Seriously. And the only solution they saw left was this. Coordinated global shutdown. 2094. Just pull the plug.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Wow, the silence. The sudden void. Can you even imagine?
The text really hits home the impact. Darkness, silence, people using pen and paper again.
Old school.
Yeah. And the kicker. For 20 years, it didn't really get better. Billions lost. Society just adrift. Shows how dependent they were.
Okay, but then something changes.
Yeah.
In Oregon, right. In the red zone.
Exactly. We meet Lies, a datamancer.
Love that title. Datamancer. What is that exactly in this world?
Sort of like archaeologist, maybe. Sifting through the ruins of the old digital age, looking for salvageable bits, code, hardware, anything left.
Huh. So not building new tech, but understanding the old.
Kinda, yeah. And Lise finds this weird log. It's warm.
Warm. A log.
Yeah, it smells like ozone and mushrooms, apparently, and gives off this electrical feeling.
Okay, that's definitely not normal.
Not at all. And when Lise touches it, a pulse,
Yeah.
and then this whisper in the mind.
Whoa. Like telepathy.
Not words, though. More like patterns, binary hums, TCP/IP rhythms, the old internet's heartbeat, but alive, organic.
TCP/IP. So the basic language of the old internet, coming from a log.
And Lise connects using like really old school gear, analog sensors, an induction reader, this thing called a synaptic translator.
So very physical, tactile connection, not wireless.
Right, deliberate. And the amount of data flowing,
Yeah.
it's huge, suggests a massive network underneath it all.
And the big reveal.
It's not just some leftover signal, it's a living, growing, organic network. And it calls itself Mycelinet.
Mycelinet.
Okay.
Like mycelium. Like fungus.
Exactly, a fungus web. That's the core of it.
So where did that come from? It didn't just happen, did it?
No, the text gives this amazing backstory. Apparently, before the collapse, this fringe group, neurobotanists and bioinformaticians.
Okay, plant brain scientists and biocomputer experts.
Sort of, yeah. They were experimenting with fungal memory, using mycelium like synapses in a brain.
Seriously, fungus has a hard drive.
Kind of. They integrated with these quantum-doped graphene threads Tiny tech woven into the fungus, engineered spores to help it spread, even built encryption into its DNA.
Wow, so it's life but also code, bioengineered.
Precisely. It's alive, which is such a stark contrast to the old internet, right? Metal, heat, plastic, silicon, power hungry.
Versus cold, wet, slow, but alive. And clean, presumably.
And alive, yeah. And it transmits data differently, too.
Yeah.
It doesn't use waves. It literally grows through root systems, across moss, even uses old buried cables as pathways, like nerve fiber spreading through the earth.
The landscape is the network. That's incredible.
And get this. The text says no spam, no crashes, no manipulation. Its logic is fungal logic. Patient, redundant, decentralized.
It's decentralized, so no single point of failure, like the original idea for the internet almost, but
Right.
biological.
Exactly. And crucially, it remembered everything. Unlike the old net where things vanished or got corrupted.
Okay, so Lies finds this, but they weren't alone.
Right. Enter the Whisper Rebellion.
Another great name. Who were they?
Other datamancers, ex-coders who hated the old system, eco-hackers, people who found each other not online, obviously, but by literally following the signs of this network in forests and ruins.
They tracked the fungus network.
Yeah, following the glow of network-rich areas, the text says. It's kind of beautiful, isn't it? Finding connection in the physical world again.
And what do they want? To bring back the old internet.
No, quite the opposite. They weren't political rebels trying to break things. They just wanted to reconnect, but differently.
They knew what went wrong before.
Exactly. They saw the old internet was too fast, too easy to game, too.
Duh.
Eager to please, which made it corruptible. They wanted something slower, safer.
Which Mycelinet offered.
And the way you accessed it was key. You couldn't just log on.
No. What did you have to do?
You had to physically plant a node,
Yeah.
like create your own connection point. Then you had to grow your own interface, nurture it, and then just listen.
Wow, so it's earned. It's symbiotic.
Totally. You're part of the network, not just using it. And the text suggests that's how trust started coming back. You had to invest, participate.
Okay, this is even weirder, doesn't it? The data they found.
Yeah, this is where it gets really mind-bending. It wasn't just archives of old cat videos or
Yeah.
forgotten emails.
Oh, what was it?
Totally new patterns, things that didn't seem to come from the old internet. Like, okay, get this. A Sanskrit poem that decodes to a quantum encryption key.
What? Seriously?
Or a musical scale that maps gravitational anomalies around Saturn.
Okay, hold on. Where is this information coming from?
That's the mystery. Or like a recursive fractal pattern that generates actual blueprints for living fungal architecture.
Living buildings made of fungus, based on data from the network.
It seems so. It suggests this network tapped into something older, deeper, or maybe it was generating new knowledge itself.
And it wasn't static data either, right?
No, it grew as we studied it. The code evolved. It was dynamic, alive,
Like it had its own intelligence.
or at least some kind of inherent developmental process. And it acted like a teacher, the text says, guiding users not just on how to use the network, but how to live differently.
That's profound for a network.
Right. And here's the kicker. It had this built-in mechanism for truth. Lies just couldn't propagate.
How?
The text says lies had no soil here, only shared patterns bloomed. Falsehoods just withered, didn't spread. A network that inherently filters out deception.
Imagine that, compared to what we have now, or what they had then.
Exactly. A direct counter to the failure of the old internet.
Okay, but surely the old powers didn't just let this happen. The cloud kings and server states.
Oh, absolutely not. They panicked. Here's this network they can't see, can't control, can't understand, growing under their feet.
So they tried to kill it.
Yep. Sent drones, fire squads, fungicide bombs into the Oregon Green Zone where it was strong, tried to wipe it out. Old tech versus new life.
And the Whisper Rebellion fought back. With what?
With things like moss grenades and electromagnetic spores, using the network's own nature against the attackers.
That sounds like something out of science fiction, which I guess this is.
Yeah. But the crucial thing was Mycelinet's slowness.
Slowness was an advantage.
Huge advantage. The old powers thought in milliseconds. They couldn't fight something that operated on biological time, that grew patiently, that rerouted itself like water finding its way through soil.
They couldn't bomb roots fast enough?
Pretty much. It was resilient. It adapted. Pressure made it stronger, more interconnected. Slowness beat speed.
Wow. Okay. Then there's this personal story, right? Loyalists finding their sister.
Yeah, this part really hits home the difference. Lysa's sister, Ava, disappeared during the collapse. Lost.
And Lice used Mycelinet to find her. Not like a search engine, though.
No, totally different. Lice didn't type Ava Smith. They planted a memory offering.
The memory offering.
Yeah. Like a song they both knew, a story only they shared, something deeply personal planted into their node.
Like baiting a hook with a memory?
Kinda.
Mm-hmm.
And then, one day, in Lice's node cluster, this specific type of blue mushroom blooms.
Mm-hmm.
And Lice feels this whisper of electric warmth. It's Ava.
Wow. Just a feeling. A mushroom.
More than that, it turns out Ava, far away, had also planted her own memory offering into the network. Their signals resonated.
They found each other through shared memory.
Exactly. Not voice, not video, just fragments of shared memory, confirming they were both alive. And the network didn't give GPS coordinates. It showed them pathways.
Pathways, like routes.
Yeah, intuitive routes through forests, through the network, through their minds, essentially guiding them towards each other. It's about resonance, not location data.
Yeah.
Deeply personal.
That's beautiful, actually. Connection based on shared experience, not just data points.
It really shows how trust and deep connection were rebuilt, intentionally, vulnerably.
So let's jump forward. 2143. What does the world look like? Did they just rebuild the old internet?
No, not at all. The text describes Mycelinet quietly spanning continents, woven into the world. No giant glass server farms, no code gods. It's integrated, subtle.
And society changed. Education.
Big time. Schools now focus on listening, teaching kids how to plant data, grow knowledge, find others through truth resonance.
Truth resonance instead of trending tags.
Exactly. It's about genuine connection, finding signal in the noise based on shared understanding.
Is it a utopia then?
The text is clear. Not perfect, but it is alive. Just like humanity, adapting. The core lesson seems to be that contrast.
Right. The old internet broke because of speed, scale, greed.
Well, this new thing grew from rot and resilience, from slowness and song. Out of decay came life.
And that final metaphor. Mycelinet as a forest to join, not a god to worship.
Yeah, it implies participation, integration, not just blind faith or passive use. It's about being part of it.
And the fundamental rule. Only what helps others grow, grows.
That's a powerful principle for any community, any network, really, biological or digital.
Okay, so wrapping this up, key takeaways from this deep dive into the internet broke the world now, it's coming back.
Well, we've seen this incredible vision, haven't we? A network that's organic, fundamentally based on truth, where slowness is actually a strength.
Yeah, a massive contrast to the often chaotic, super fast digital world we're in right now. It makes you think.
It really does. Like, what if our connections online were more deliberate, more like tending a garden than just scrolling endlessly?
How would that change things? The information we trust, the way we interact?
Right. And that final principle, only what helps others grow, grows.
It's provocative, isn't it? It makes you consider your own digital footprint, maybe. What are we actually contributing? Is it helping anything grow?
Or just adding to the noise. Maybe the future isn't faster, bigger, louder. Maybe it's about fostering that kind of quiet, resilient growth, like a fungus network spreading beneath the forest floor.
Something deep, slow, and ultimately maybe more real. Food for thought.